Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming to my presentation. And I heard there's a long line outside for the bus already, so I really appreciate that you guys are here. So I am Eugene. I'm from Singapore. So I do tech and art. This is the kind of installations that I do in Singapore. This is a cooperative installation where 4 people try to achieve a goal together. So I did this with the Arduino and Unity. And how I got into the arts was because of this picture that I shot in year 1 of university. So I went to university. I graduated from a local university in Singapore 7 years ago. 7 years ago. So I shot this in 2010 when I was still in year 1 in university. And if you don't realize, it is a Singapore version of the Last Supper. This is a comparison of it. The setting of the Singapore version of the Last Supper is in a kopitiam, which is what we call a hawker center, which is like a little restaurant of street food. That's how I would explain it. So this photo I shot in year 1. It was how I got to shoot it was because I was in an art school, and in year 1 in art school we do like foundation year where we do drawing, nude drawing. There's a naked person down there, and then we draw them, and a lot of other basic stuff. We haven't found our major yet, so I was doing lots of stuff outside of school. One of them was to go to parties and meet people, and one of them was a magazine editor. And he knows that I do sound photography. He said, "Hey, Eugene, why don't you include some of your photos inside my centerfold page?" So I was very excited. I was like, yes, I can be in the centerfold page of a magazine. So I looked through my portfolio. At that time in year 1, what kind of portfolio do you have? So it was all very pretentious, artsy stuff, like the shadows of the flowers on the floor. I have a whole series of that. So I couldn't find one photo to go and put into the centerfold page. So I decided to shoot a new one, which is this one. So it was published in the magazine. Great, fantastic. Then for 2 years, nobody cared about it. I went on to choose my major, which was into interactive media, which is like game design, programming. That time I was doing some Flash action script stuff. That's how long time ago it was. Then suddenly when I was year 3, it went viral on Facebook. So I don't know what happened. Maybe the algorithm of how things go viral changed on Facebook. Then suddenly this old picture that nobody cared about for 2 years suddenly went viral. Then suddenly galleries were contacting me and asking me, "Hey, let's see more of your work." But little did they know that this was the only one. So I could have been the guy to say, "Oh, don't disturb me. I am not interested in the arts. I am going to work for a big company like Microsoft or Blizzard to do game design." But I obliged them, and I went on to create a whole series of like Singaporeanized, famous Western Renaissance art. And I had my first solo show when I graduated. Then after that, things started just happening. I started having more shows and more projects coming in. Then after this one show, after this series was exhibited, nobody cared about it again for about 2 years until last year. The Singapore Tourism Board was interested in sending this overseas to different countries. This one was in Russia. They wanted to use this to fly the Singapore flag overseas. This is more in Moscow, and this is in Myanmar. I was talking to someone from Myanmar just now. So this one was in Myanmar, and they wanted. They didn't just want the photos. They know that I was doing lots of technology. So a bit of backstory. After that photo went viral, I was in the newspapers. People were saying that, "Oh, Eugene Soh, the photographer," and I didn't quite like that because I'm so much more than a photographer. I do lots of programming, so I've been trying to run away from that from that title for very long. So last year, I think I successfully ran away from it, and I made like big installations and everything. So the Singapore Tourism Board knew that. They wanted me to infuse technology with my photography. So for a long time, I tried not to mix the both, because I didn't just want to mix technology and my photography for no reason. I needed a really good reason and to do that. So the Singapore Tourism Board, they suggested using augmented reality. So show of hands, who knows what augmented reality is? Oh, looks like everybody knows. Okay, I don't need to explain. So it's like the dog filter and everything. So they wanted augmented reality on top of it. So the AR that I did at that time for these images, right, was to create my own separate app. And then during the exhibition, we'll beg people to download that separate app, and then nobody will download the app, and then all the effort is wasted. So I was trying to dissuade them from doing it, but then suddenly they told me about there's this new way of doing AR where you don't need anyone to download a new app, and it's actually through an app that everyone probably already has. So the concept was to turn the images into like a Harry Potter portrait, and you get all the characters moving. So there's one thing about this series of images is that I shot everybody individually and then later Photoshopped them all together. So I had and I still kept the Photoshop file, so I was able to put them all into Blender and Maya to like animate them and turn them into these moving images. So after I discovered this new way of doing augmented reality, I started experimenting more. It blew my mind, and I did stuff like this. This is with the Singapore dollar note. I let people turn into a Singapore dollar, and I let people play soccer with our sports mascot in Singapore. That's her name. His name is Neela. So we play soccer in augmented reality. So more projects is this is with Sengkang Hospital, which was a new hospital that opened earlier this year, and they commissioned me to do this AR thing on the sculpture in the middle of the fountain. So does anyone recognize who that person is? Who recognizes him? Show of hands. Nobody. Oh, there's one person or two people. So 3 people. Oh, she's Singaporean. So that's our Prime Minister. So he was there at the opening, doing this with his own phone. But I wasn't able to be there in person because I was in Myanmar. So other stuff that I did with augmented reality was for this campaign. This was called the Yellow Helmet Challenge, which was to raise awareness for the migrant workers in Singapore. So the migrant workers in Singapore, the construction workers who build the buildings, they are usually migrant workers from places like India, Bangladesh, and they don't get paid very well, and sometimes people just ignore them. So this campaign was to raise awareness, to get people to pledge to say hi to them when they meet them. So after doing all this this has gone on Instagram. These are Instagram filters. I went on to do more projects. For this one, this is an Instagram game that was commissioned by an Indonesian telco. I was talking to an Indonesian over there. So this was for the Indonesian National Day, which happened 3 weeks after our own National Day, and I did an Instagram filter for the Singapore's National Day, and then they saw it and they wanted one too. So within 3 weeks, I coded this game and I learned of their National Day culture. This pole here, in real life, people would be climbing this oily pole to get prizes during their national. This is the tradition that they have during National Independence Day celebration for Indonesia. So I learned of that culture and then converted it into a game and got them to approve it. So it was with this little raising the flag thing that inspired this game that you might have seen. You might have seen at the hub now. Tomorrow is your last chance to go and play it. So this one was a mix of getting people to collaborate with that initial first project and this last one with Indonesia. So it's a merge of those two ideas to get four people work together, and then they raise a flag that says together we empower everyone. This was thanks to Shauna. Where's she? Oh yeah, she got me to do this project. And now it's here. Tomorrow is your last chance. And since you guys took special effort to come here, I shall let y'all in on a little secret if you want to win the Lego prize. There is a Lego prize if you get the top prize. The secret to winning this, a lot of people are trying to do this to try to raise the flag or to just swing their arms as fast as possible. But the trick is, there is a trick. You get 4 of your friends to all raise your hands and do this instead, because there is a function that we put in there where if you raise your hands, you will cheer everyone else on. This is just in case you are way faster than everybody and then everyone else is slower, then you can raise your hands to cheer everybody. But if you combine the two, you raise your hands and you do this, you will cheer everyone. Everyone will be cheering each other on and you will raise the flag the faster. So that's the trick to getting into the top 5. So dude.sg, this is my Instagram handle. Because Twitter doesn't allow a dot, so my Twitter handle is dude_sg. Why is it dude.sg? So dude.sg is my website also, and I was very surprised that I could get such a short domain name. .sg means Singapore, so I was very surprised that I could get it. And I went to check out other one-worded .sg domains, like good.sg, guy.sg, cute.sg, and they were all available. So I was very surprised. This was in 2011. So I guess I was really early in the game, and I did the most logical thing, and I bought them all. Then I didn't just squat on them. I put them all on webart.sg to let developers adopt them for free and do whatever they want with it for a year. Because at the time, I was also doing lots of web design for companies. Sometimes it gets a bit boring. What they want is quite standard. So sometimes I wanted to make some nonsense website where the login button runs away from the cursor or something like that. So I wanted to give other developers a chance to do that too. So many people adopted it. 20 artists from around the world, I think 2 is from the States, adopted the domains and they did wacky stuff with it. So after a year, I had all these websites. And a promise that they will have a show. And because I already had one foot in the art world, I went around galleries asking them whether they wanted to show these 20 amazing artists. Then they said that, oh, that's such a great idea. We could print out all their websites into a Chinese scroll format, and people can physically scroll through a website. And they thought it was a great idea, but because these are commercial galleries, they need to sell, and all these 20 artists, they're all not very famous. Nobody would buy, would pay thousands of dollars for a Chinese scroll print of their website. So defeated, I went back home and thought about it, and I remember I'm a developer, I can solve my own problems, so I decided to adopt my own domain. Gallery.sg, I had gallery.sg, and I decided to turn it into an online gallery, and I wanted to recreate the whole gallery visiting experience along with the social bit. So I made a multiplayer online gallery game, so I got a server, and anyone who go to gallery.sg, they'll be popped into this world, and it'll be like a first-person shooter. They try to walk around with their mouse and WASD keyboard, and they will see anybody, and they'll be walking around with these wine glasses, just like a art gallery. And so this was from the opening day, and this is this kind of remote multiplayer thing is what I wanted to bring to the elderly in the nursing homes. Because some of them they are all stuck in nursing homes. Sometimes it's physically very difficult for them to get out. So this is the kind of thing that I wanted to do for them. So this is the problem the main problem that we're addressing is the loss of agency once the elderly go into a nursing home. So in Singapore, the aging population is on the rise. Nobody is having children anymore. So there is going to be a lot more elderly compared to the young people. So imagine this. So before the nursing home, you can travel, you can go shopping, and you can make new friends. You have this illusion that you could open a door of your house anytime and go out, but maybe you choose not to. So you still have this choice to make those decisions. But after you go into a nursing home, suddenly these walls are very apparent. They are there already. So when you want to get out of the nursing home, there is a security guy there, there's a nurse person stopping you, and you can't go shopping. You can't. The friends that you want to make is within that compound. So wouldn't it be nice if there was a place where they could exercise all these choices but still stay within the safety of the nursing home? That's where virtual reality comes in. So I started doing this VR. I started doing VR quite a while ago, about 4 years ago, making VR games, and I first brought the VR goggles to the nursing home at the beginning of last year. So what I did was to bring that time the VR goggles that I had was we stick a cell phone inside a headset. It could be the Google Cardboard, but I got the plastic versions that was more comfortable, and we brought it there and let them watch 360 YouTube videos from other content creators. So there would be things like, I saw lots of issues with those. I saw lots of issues with those 360 with just playing YouTube videos in the phone, is because after the YouTube video ends, they want you to choose the next video, and the elderly in Singapore, they don't know how to do that. So they're stuck in that last frame, which is a sphere, and it can still look around. They can still look around. It still looks like it's playing, but it has stopped already. That's the end of the video. So we asked them, are you enjoying yourself? And they say yes, they are looking at this scenery, but from the corner of the VR goggles, we looked through it, and I noticed that the video has already stopped. So we had to. I wanted to solve this issue and make my own software to play all these videos and play my own content, and this was where I found the next set of Oculus goggles. After I upgraded them, then on the Oculus, I made my own video player, 360 video player. So how it works is we introduce the headset to them and tell them that it's safe, and then they put it on, and suddenly they are brought to places like Great Wall of China. So these are the kind of feelings that we can let them experience. Familiarity, this is very good for dementia patients when we bring them back to the old Singapore, bring them back to the old, bring them back to nostalgia, places that they're familiar to. We can let them feel calm by bringing them to the beach. We can let them travel, see the world. We can give them some excitement. Sometimes it's too much excitement. There was once I let my own grandmother try the roller coaster rides, and that was too much. That was really too much. And then social, through the internet, through VR goggles, they could probably meet other people. So in this 1 year experience, I'll share with you some stuff that I learned. Is that the motion sickness was the #1 issue when we were using phones in plastic headsets. I guess it was because of the frame rate of the phones were not fast enough. So the people were getting nauseous, and they felt like vomiting. And then we can't expect the elderly in Singapore to interact, and the video should be on auto loop all the time. It shouldn't require any interaction. then the carrier should have control to help them change the video. And because for the current generation, they don't use in Singapore, most of them don't even know how to use the phone. So to expect them to use a VR headset like that, they wouldn't know. But I guess in 5 years' time, when the Pokemon Go generation graduate and enter into the nursing home, they might. So this is the kind of stuff that we do. We let secondary school children, teenagers who go and do their volunteer activity at the nursing homes. We teach them how to use the headset, and then they are the ones who help the elderly put on the headsets. So another idea that was from the Society for the Aged Sick in Singapore. We had several sessions with them. Then they suggested, hey, why don't we include food into it? Since since food is such a big part of the Singapore culture, we decided to film one of the more famous chicken rice chefs. And then we filmed him making the chicken rice, and then explaining to the residents, addressing the camera as if it's the residents, and then he would tell them how he makes the chicken rice, and then while they are watching it, we will sneakily put the food in front of them, so they can, while they're watching it, they can smell the food that he's making. Also, they don't know why they can smell the food, but they thought it's because the technology is so advanced, but it's actually because we have. He would donate 100 packs of that food, and we will hide it at a nursing home, and while they're watching it, we will bring it to them. So other stuff we do with virtual reality is I prototype this VR wheelchair game to let them get some exercise also and get familiar with the wheelchair. And one of the big issues with all these sharing headsets is the hygiene, which is for now not everyone in the nursing home has their own headset, and we still use the hygiene mask and everything, but some of them they will start to tear when they're watching the thing. Sometimes it's just uncontrollable tearing, or they will start to sweat. And then after they are done with it, when you want to pass it to the next person, the foam piece is a bit wet, then it's a bit cold, then when you want to put it on, it's kind of gross. So this hygiene issue is something that I find one of the bigger problems in VR. So that's why I have converted my VR wheelchair game into using a big curved screen instead. And then next we are building an immersive room. This is, I was in Bali for an artist residency, and they let me do anything I wanted. So I decided to prototype an immersive room with projectors and use the curtains of the place to project on. So this one's using the Kinect, the Kinect version 2. And outside the hub, there is, I saw the Azure Connect, the new one, so I can't wait to try that one. So this immersive room will let them experience the whole 360 experience without touching the headset. And then also to show you another Kinect project that I made quite a while ago. I didn't think of bringing it to the nursing home until I saw this viral video on social media. I made this boxing game with the Kinect, where two people can start to box each other. And the reason why I made this game is because I saw lots of the Microsoft Xbox fighting games where you do a punch, and then the Kinect will detect that you do a punch, and then the character on the screen will do their own very nice punch, pre-animated punch. So I didn't quite like that because I felt like if you could capture all motion, why don't the fighters do exactly the way the same motion that you did? So I went to search online to see if there was any game like that, and I couldn't find it, so I decided to make my own to see why it was not possible. And turns out it was possible. It was just quite taxing on the computer, and And to turn it into a full-on game, it would be even more taxing. So this one only has 2 characters. I didn't make a whole lot of characters. And so this was one of the games that I was making just to like push the limit, just to see if it was possible. So with that, this is I hope you learned something. This is my Instagram handle. Thank you very much. Oh, questions. Are we doing questions? Does anyone have questions, or do you all want to go to Universal Studios already? All right, let's go to Universal Studios. Thank you very much.